What it do, homies? We out here with some more Dark LSVD. This time we're checking out the Chainsaw Man song, Eternal Life. Let's go ahead, shut up, and turn it up. Yeah, we did a reaction to Moonlight, right? That was maybe a couple of weeks ago. What I've learned about Dark here is that he's a very, very unique voice, right? Nice little raspiness and everything. And I don't know, I feel like I don't hear too much of that. Like everybody's kind of smooth and butter. You know, I'm a fan of bass low end and everything, but the raspiness is good stuff, especially if you know how to work it.
Kept me when I was all alone. You fixed the pieces in me to prove me wrong. I bleed from deceit, my belief it was you all along. Was you all along? It was you. Taking my chains for your eternal life turned into taking my brain. Your eternal life, babe, you better do my heel inside. My
So it's interesting what you got going on here. You know, especially considering that I heard like the Moonlight song, and that one was a little bit more melodic, what you were doing with your vocals and everything. This one kind of more sounds more raw, but my brain is wanting something a little bit more melodic and everything. Let me see if you put anything down here. Okay, so experimental track with some more raw vocals. Okay, so again, this is a singing style where you can kind of sing like that, where you're like introducing more of kind of melodic stuff. Less melodic stuff and more just talking about raw. It definitely has its place in music, especially when you're trying to like sell emotion. Had a fun recording, but also, so you mix and mastered this. This might be the biggest difference. You did everything, because I believe, the producer was Never Lose, but you did all the mixing and mastering. He said not so much mixing. It's a pain. It really is. So, you know, so comparing this to the Moonlight one, which wouldn't really be much of a fair, because that was mixed and mastered by somebody else. So, you know, I give you points for that. You know what I mean? Because some people go, you know, do pretty much everything in house. You know, they do as much as they can and never release it because they can never get over the, you know, the kind of the self defeat, right? Because we're our own worst enemy. So the fact that you even mixed and mastered this yourself, I'll give you points for that. But for the vocals and everything, it could be a little bit louder. And I don't know, I just really want a little bit more melodic stuff. But this stuff might just come with time.
You better do my heel inside. My hands are tied. I want to do whatever you say, play whatever you play, take whatever you take, break whatever you break, lay whatever you lay. Every time you touch me, I'm all gone. You're grabbing me by the throat, now I'm lost. You unload your gun, I chased you and gave it my all. What the fuck was that for? I fell for it so many times I can't get back up. You kept me when I was all.
I think one of your greatest strengths, because like I said, your moonlight, you know, I just keep going back to that because it just reminds me of what I liked the last time that I've heard it, was your ability to craft, you know, choruses is pretty good. You make really catchy stuff that kind of just gets stuck in people's head. There's a little kind of things that was really light, like right when you started rapping, that was really low and everything. I think a compressor, and you're probably already using a compressor, but can kind of help everything kind of tame those highs and bring up those lows, like, you know, on a more even standpoint. Even if you're kind of punching in and punching out, it's a way to kind of go in there and do that. But I think this is a solid song. Yeah. That part right there, where I think that's more kind of like I think I understand what you're trying to do, but I think that's what you meant by like your raw verb, eternal life. I would say that if you were to add some melody in here, then you can kind of leave the middle of it kind of raw. You know what I mean? Kind of non-tonal, if you will, and then maybe towards the end sprinkle a little bit more melody. All right, because I think that's what helps make things like really catchy and make people want to rewind it over and over again.
In my brain, your eternal life.
Okay.
hands are tied. I want to
The vocal layers you had going on there at the end.
My hands are tied. I want to
I like the way that was mixed. It's subtle. You can hear it. It doesn't overshadow your main vocal here. Abrupt ending. You know, I've seen other type of musicians and video editors and stuff like that that gives you kind of an abrupt ending right there at the end because it makes you contemplate things like, wait, is the song over? Right, kind of gives you that experience of wanting more. So yeah, overall, you know what I'm saying, really good track. I would say, you know, I already said what I needed to say, but continue to keep mixing and mastering. I know you say down here that you didn't like it so much, but that might just be. I mean, you're putting out music, so that's great. But that might be the bread and butter right there. That mixing and mastering, that extra polish. These days, the entry to high quality music is it's never been better than before. You know what I mean? You pay like $9 a month and you got half a daily stuff. So, you know, your average listener now understands a little bit more about the difference between a mix and master, you know, outside those MP3 days where things were just, you know, they just sounded the way they sounded. And people got good headphones as well too. So, but yeah, y'all let me know what y'all thought about this down in the comments. Dave's out.